The bad news is I think that it's going to be a really tough, sticky time for the US consumer probably over the next 18 months.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Christian Finance for your regular financial content. And today we'll be covering what billionaire Chamath Palihapitiya, yes, difficult name, has to say about the current markets, how he thinks we're going to do in the short to midterm. As well, I'll give you some more interesting news about the markets, as well as my own personal opinions and thoughts on where we're headed in the near future in the markets.
The bad news is I think that it's going to be a really tough, sticky time for the US consumer probably over the next 18 months. And so I tend to think that, through the course of this year and through 2023 and possibly even a little bit of 24, it's going to be a grind. Unemployment will go back up. Inflation will be sticky. Real earnings will shrink. Consumption will ebb, and earnings will not be that great.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually have to agree with everything that he's saying there. I also think that in the macro, we're not going to get out of trouble until 2024. And I actually have a few different reasons why and theories. And one of them is actually linked to Bitcoin directly, and it's halving, which I may upload a video on really soon. But the point is this, until 2024, midway through, beginning of at least, I don't see the prices in stocks and crypto and commodities and the housing market getting back to normal, just because of how much right now we're struggling when it comes to inflation, increasing interest rates, stores like Walmart and Target having a surplus of supply. And that's really scary when the cheaper alternative stores are having surplus of supply in a bad macroeconomic time. Also, of course, we still have the war, pandemic still going on. Yeah, a lot of issues we have to clean up one after the next in order for us to actually tread towards a potential bull market. With that, guys, I just want to take a quick second, ask you to please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I put a lot of effort into giving you guys consistent content. So the only thing I ask for in return currently is to please just subscribe to the channel.
The thing to remind us, though, is that, let's just say a stock goes down 50%. Even if it rallies 50% from there, it's still 25% off from where it was.
Yeah, people don't understand that.
And people don't understand
how hard it is to climb back up the mountain.
We're going to feel this for a while. This inflation, as I've said for a long time, is going to be sticky and persistent. I think you're going to see Fed funds at or breaching 5%.
Okay, so a couple interesting things he just said. One, he says that interest rates are going to reach 5%, which I personally do not think will happen. Right now in the US, they're at 3.25%. Do I see it jumping all the way to 5%? Not necessarily, but I do think that we're going to go at least to 4% minimum. And about the stocks, it's a good point. Something goes down 50% and then they go up 50% from there. They've actually only made up half the ground from the initial start of the jump down, right? So that is something to keep in mind. Now, I do want to do a quick coverage of Michael Burry's two of his latest tweets. And he says, and yet I keep getting asked when crash. And here he's just referring to the fact that when we had that initial bottoming out, then of June, and then we started to rally back up, everybody thought, hey, this will be the end. But that, just like as I predicted and many other experts, hasn't been the case, right? And we're continuing to see a new bottom right here, right, that we just recently had earlier this month. And I personally think, no financial advice, we're going to keep heading lower, right? If we look at Bitcoin, which is the only cryptocurrency I recommend for beginners to look into, right now we're at 19K. Exactly about a year ago, right? We were actually at 69,000 USD peak price, right? Which is just crazy to think about. Now we're at a little bit more than a quarter of the price from back then, just for a year. And again, it's a risk asset, just like Chamath was talking about. Obviously, when we're in tough economic times, riskier stocks and crypto, which is considered a risk asset in general, will tumble harder than anything else. In the reverse, when crypto and the markets in general rally, you're going to see the risk assets having the most jump up as well. And it's a little bit funny. Michael is like, oh, even the chart looks like a heart attack. And then, yeah, the Dow Jones was down 522 points in a day, which, yeah, it does look a bit like a heart attack. But yeah, this is the reality, guys. We're on a downturn, right? And every 8 to 12 years, we have some sort of recession, right? Or crash, depending on how you want to look at it. 2000, the dot-com bubble. 2008, the housing market crisis. Right now, you can name it a lot of things, right? But it's a recession. We had 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. It is what it is. As much as the feds want to swerve around it, we are in a recession. If you don't want me to say this, change the definition of it. I do want to quickly speak about the greatest investor of all time, Warren Buffett, a little bit of good news. He obviously is the one that says Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. And he lives by that, right? Last year in 2021, when everything was at peak price, him and Berkshire Hathaway in general were either selling or holding, right? And now this year that everything has been crashing, what is he doing? He's buying. He has his long-term conviction, well-researched place, so he's buying and holding now, right? Yeah, guys, I get it. It's tough times right now, but you can look at it one of two ways, right? You can either say, oh no, everything is crashing, or the cup could be half full in that analogy, right? And just think about it right now. It's the best time to start thinking about investing if you have never done so. Most millionaires and billionaires are made in recessions. Remember that. With that, guys, the video is over. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. Let me know what other similar content you'd like me to do next in the financial space. And as always, guys, stay diversified.